Every lady out there has their favourite little black number that makes them look their best and feel their best, and now it's time for everyone else to be able to have their own little slinky, sleek little black number to go out with. But this one is a real powerhouse of an airgun, capable of doing things that could upset some of the big boys maybe. It is the Huben K1. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air. If a gun could be classed as aerodynamic, this would be the one to take the award. It has a real wedge to it and is almost forward moving in its design. There are again some forward thinking, innovative design features that are superbly tucked away and hidden from obvious view. We'll do the walk around, but you will need to look quite closely to pick up on a lot of these design features. So, stats, walk around, and then up close and personal, so to speak. It is 825mm or around 32.5 inches long, with a 600mm or 24-inch barrel. The weight unscoped is 3.5 kilos or 7.7 pounds. But everyone who has picked this up has passed comment on how light it feels. Must be those aerodynamics again. It is pretty much all black and is a quality ballistic polymer bottom or stock in an elongated skeleton style around the ribbed grip. Definitely not a thumb hole stock simplistically. It also forms the trigger guard and is finished off with a quality rubberized butt pad. This polymer flows over the top of the block and forms a rounded and comfortable cheek rest, making sure you're not resting on cold metal at any point. This cheek rest also follows the swept forward flow lines and to the rear covers the oversized permanently fixed magazine. More about that later. Let's start to move on to the metalwork next, shall we? From the front, look closely at the shrouded barrel and you will notice small holes in the last 90mm. This indicates where the barrel ends and the rest is internal moderator, which explains why this is so quiet, even at 90+ foot-pounds. Yes, I said 90+ foot-pounds. This is a sit up and pay attention kind of bullpup and not for the faint-hearted amongst us. It's also available though in sub 12 foot-pounds to comply with UK laws, so stay tuned. Below this somewhat radical barrel is the 292cc air cylinder, which is capable of 350 bar fill, which is 5000 psi. Like I said, not for the faint-hearted. I must add at this point, it is an impressive figure, but there aren't many tanks or compressors that are capable of going that high, and I would anticipate that mostly this will see a max of around 300 bar, which is still impressive and should give a high shot count, even at its high power levels, due to the inboard regulator. The gauge is on the front end and is pretty clear, and the surround forms the filler port cover. It is a simple slide forward to insert the supplied filler probe, then fill until your compressor maxes out and try and go a bit more. Then slide the cover back into place. Again, a nice touch that will prevent you from losing a removable cover or insert, even if they are magnetized. You're probably starting to realise by now this is something special and not your run-of-the-mill air guns you're getting used to seeing. This is hammerless, high power, high capacity, higher calibre, long distance shooting specialist, and get this, semi-automatic. I love the simplicity of the name, Huben K1. But you can't help thinking, if this was made in and marketed by our cousins on the other side of the pond, it would probably have been called the Beast, or something like that. Me, I think it looks far too nicely finished off and engineered to be called anything quite so crass. But it is a wolf in sheep's clothing, that's for sure. The top rail is 22mm, as is becoming more popular these days on these higher end guns, and it also has a small spirit level built in at the rear to prevent any unwanted cant. With its power levels and long range capabilities, this needs a quality scope fitting. So I've added a Taurus first focal plane. We'll check out the accuracy though a little later. Towards the rear of the K1 we see the part covered 19 round built-in magazine, which does have to be loaded on the gun. Somewhat reminiscent in style to a Colt SAA. Whilst this does feel a little strange initially, it is pretty quick process and simply requires you to lift the small black lever on the left hand side of this ambidextrous gun, which is situated just below the regulator gauge. Once this has been lifted, the magazine will freely rotate to allow you to load individually. Remember this because you may need this as an added level of safety later. Once you're fully loaded, drop the lever back flush and the magazine is back into auto rotate mode. The reason this is permanently seated in the gun is due to the high tolerances required to get the semi-auto mode to work smoothly and efficiently. At this point, I'll look at the safety aspect. This has a very bright gold-coloured sure-footed safety, which is down for safe and up for fire, showing the traditional red dot when in fire mode. Now that's it for safety on this gun, so be warned that this is a very capable fast fire item without any form of bolt or cocking arm. It is permanently cocked in effect, and because you can't take the magazine out or check the breech, it is difficult to know if it's empty. I would suggest that when you finish shooting, you disengage the automatic rotation of the magazine and click through it to check it is unloaded, and then fire at least once safely to ensure it is fully empty. This may sound a little picky, but I make no excuses for this suggestion. Adjustability is also a key word here. This has a two-stage adjustable trigger with a nice broad blade to it and a really nice feel. The regulator is also adjustable on the over 12 foot-pound models. There is even a power wheel on this to be able to turn up or down the power levels to fit your shooting environment. This particular one is in .25 caliber, and there is a .22 caliber version available as well. Sadly, at this moment in time, there is no 177 option, but this is really designed around its higher power potential and doesn't really suit such a small caliber perhaps. By the way, in the .22 caliber, it is capable of 75 foot-pounds. You will probably need to use some heavier weighted pellets to stop this thing from going supersonic. Well, hopefully I've covered off most of the points on this futuristic distance eater. Time, I think, to put this to the test. It's target work time. Let's see if this Vector Optics 5-30 can complement this K1. I thought this really deserved to be put to the test properly. They claim it is a 150 metre target muncher. On the day I was testing this, it was pretty blowy and I was shooting in an 8-acre open field. Not the ideal situation, so I stuck to 100 metres, which is a pretty good distance for an airgun, and trying to keep it on target on a swivel chair between the blowing I've had some accurate guns in my time, and this one was amazing. Bear in mind, this is 100 metre distance, not the usual 40 metres, and a .25 cal. And this was simply blasting holes pretty much all of the time in the same place, time and time again. I didn't film all of it because I just got carried away and lost in the moment, so to speak, and kept shooting irrespective of the camera. I pretty much destroyed a target holder by constantly hitting it in the same place time and time again. This is super accurate, undeniably. There are times when the results do speak for themselves, and this is one of those moments. In fully tuned up mode, this is easily capable of accurate work out to 150 metres, and that is impressive. Thanks to the guys at Vector Air, we really are starting to see some amazing and different airguns that are available, and not just the run-of-the-mill items that seem to be flooding our screens these days. As always, I realise this isn't for everyone, but simply knowing they're out there, to me, is fascinating. Oh, and the price. £1,490 UK. With all this lot going on, with this amazing bullpup, well, I'll let you decide on whether that's good or bad. Me? Value for money would be my thoughts. I can't help thinking of this being like an exclusive sports car. Ultimately, it may be on the little expensive side, but the real expense is the fuel it uses, or in the case of this, the pellets, because you cannot help yourself but keep pulling the trigger, and the tins of pellets just keep disappearing down the range. But like that sports car, you're left with such a buzz and a huge grin from ear to ear. Just going through the same hole. It really is incredible. It wasn't wrong about it. It's just going through the same hole. Yeah, all right, it's spurred it out. It's 2.5. It's going to make a big hole. But that is incredible. That really is remarkable. Ah! That's the problem, you just run out of ammo too quick. Yeah, you just... That is amazing. You know, the airgun world does seem to be changing and evolving pretty quickly these days, and I, for one, am glad it is. It is getting the manufacturers to start and work their R&D departments at full stretch in the pursuit of bringing our sport into the 21st century. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. If so, please give us the old thumbs up, subscribe, and click the alarm bell whilst you're there. Cast your eyes over all this lot, and please join in with the chat and opinions and forums. And yes, Rudy in Phoenix, Mrs. AAR is looking into getting the AAR baseball caps in black. That's it for me. I'm going to give this another go whilst I have the chance before I have to start next week's programme. For now though, stay safe and shoot safe, and thank you so much for watching.